Hey, what's up guys, MashShiny here, come back with a brand new video for you guys, and I've got an action-packed one for you guys here. Today we're going to be talking about a couple big things, including where I'm heading for the next 2 weeks, what has been going on in the Steam community market, and I found a market manipulator in the act. We're going to be talking about all that after a quick word from our sponsor, Market CSGO. The sponsor for today's video is Market CSGO. Now, Market CSGO is one of the fastest and most safe ways to buy or sell CSGO skins. They've even got their own client, which makes sure that if you're sending out a trade, it's going to the correct person and you have zero chance of getting scammed. Listing an item to sell is super easy, and once it sells, that money goes straight into your account after you send that trade and it's accepted. And you can withdraw it with all of these different withdrawal options. And if you're looking to deposit, they've got tons of options to do that as well. Plus, on the marketplace, they've got over 90,000 sales per day, 235 million total sales in the lifetime, and with a completely redesigned site, so many new filters, and easier to use than ever, just a couple weeks away. What are you waiting for? Use the top link in the description and check out Market CSGO. Now, where am I going for the next 2 weeks? Well, the next 2 weeks I am going to be leaving. You're going to get some pre-recorded videos, and I've actually got some pretty high quality ones in my opinion. We've got a huge profitable trade up, 150% profitability. There's a couple of them, plus 3 no risk trade ups. Plus, I'm going to be talking about how I always make profit on hypes, and talking about how you can get your investments tracked super easy and never have to worry about it again, plus a little bit more. And if you're wondering where I'm going specifically, hopefully these polls can give you a little bit of insight if you want to figure it out. Next up, talking about the overall market a little bit, because in the next 2 weeks, this is the only time I'm going to be talking about it. So we've got a couple pretty decently sized developments. The first one I want to talk about, Stockholm 2021. We've seen a 20% increase for the Stockholm Challengers capsule, and it's gone under 1,000 quantity on Steam. Now, this is very interesting because this capsule has always been kind of the big movement when we're talking about Stockholm, but it's kind of just jumped 20% out of nowhere, considering nothing really has changed. We don't have any CSGO developments going on like a major or anything like that. The other capsules have maybe seen a slight bit of movement. Maybe that Contenders capsule has moved very slightly depending on when you want to pick out, but otherwise we really haven't seen too much development from these. I would have to assume this is due in part to Rio, because we really haven't seen too much desirability for Rio, and the fact is Antwerp and Stockholm are much more preferred than Rio. Therefore, it could kind of be a little bit of a reason to potentially invest into Stockholm at this time, or potentially Antwerp. But basically, these capsules are now 12x the price that they were originally in shop, and if you invested into them, you're going to be looking at some very nice profit. Stockholm as a whole, though, has really started to decrease off the market. Now, we don't really talk about quantity a lot because it's not a good indicator, but we've seen almost all of the capsules drop below 10,000, and we've got 3 of them sitting at around that 8 to 9,000. Contenders and the Challengers are extremely low as well. It's a very interesting development. I will be very interested and obviously keep you updated on where it goes from here. Now, I'm not going to be specifically there right after Christmas to talk about it, but we really haven't seen any movement from the case market in the past week, and honestly, it's going to be interesting to see once Christmas time comes around if we're going to see any movements there. Honestly, in my opinion, I can't really see too much demand increase from where we're currently at. We've got a lot of people that are looking to sell because it's kind of been informally confirmed that we're probably not going to be receiving any large update anytime soon. I mean, they would have released it before December if they were going to release the large update, they being Valve, because that's the most profitable time for them to release an update. It's the reason that we've seen our operations released in that 4th quarter of the year. So it's going to be interesting the next couple of months, because we've also got this Rio sale that most people are projecting to go on for the longest a sale has ever been. So I don't really see too much demand really picking up there for a significant amount of cases. Obviously, there might be the one-off case like we saw in the past with just so many random cases kind of shooting up in price and then kind of going back to what they were at beforehand, but it's definitely interesting and something I'm going to be kind of following while I'm gone, but honestly, I don't really expect too much to change on that front. Now, for the second piece, we're going to be heading straight on over to the market. I'm going to be telling you about a market manipulator I caught in the act and how I profited at least a little bit off of them. So we're going to be heading on over to this skin right here, Sawed Off Sage Spray. Now, when you're looking to determine if something is potentially a market manipulator trying to do something, there's a couple key aspects. If we're looking at a skin like we are here, we're going to look at the collection, because the collection, if it's an older collection, is definitely going to fit that criteria along with the exterior. Usually they prefer well-worn skins because they're not very expensive, they're not very quantifiable. The thing is, most people are not really selling them and they're usually kind of buried in inventories. People aren't really looking for them. So coming down to the graph here, you can see something is obviously up. It's not a very liquid skin, and you can see here 1 or 2 are sold every couple days. But the thing is, we can see this spike right here, and we can see that 25 were sold at that price point, and then it's kind of just stayed level at that price point. The biggest indicators when we head to the buy orders here, 140 buy orders at this higher price point, and we can see here that the buy orders were regularly sitting at around $1.50 beforehand, and that's even after this kind of influx of buy orders at the top. What's been going on here? Well, I personally found out about this because I was scrolling through an old inventory of someone I know, and I saw this skin, and I recognized this skin because it wasn't ever very expensive, but it said it was almost $5. So what I did is I went on a third-party site and I picked up one of these sage sprays for around $1.30, and I was able to sell it for $3.33 here on Steam. That's kind of the small profit I made, but the biggest reason I did it is because it gives me who the buyer is. Now this buyer is pretty interesting. If we want to head on over to the profile, it's completely blank. They've been on Steam for over 10 years, which is an extremely long time. And to never put any effort into your profile is very odd. Now when we head on over to their inventory, and once their inventory loads, we can see here that they have got a decent amount of these sage sprays along with a decent amount of other things. Now it's very interesting because these sage sprays are something they picked up, but they've also got a couple other things going on. They've got these SG553 Lush runes, they've got almost 300 of them, but the thing is, that is nothing compared to the amount of sawed-offs they actually have. Now inside of this storage unit right here, we can see it was updated just yesterday from the time I'm recording this. So this is the 15th that it was updated. Today is the 16th. It's got 900 items, but it's labeled off well worn, which I would easily say translates into sawed off well worn. And if we head back to the inventory, we're getting sawed offs in well worn. They've collected almost 1,000 of these. Now the biggest question is, what are they going to be doing with this? And the biggest reason I can give is usually to hit a trading site. Now they've got a couple skins in their inventory. The one I want to focus in on is this SG Lush runes right here. We can see the peak for, obviously this was market manipulation, was around the middle week of September. You can see here, we'll say September 15th. If we want to head to their inventory, they've got a ton of these, almost 300. They were not the market manipulator in this situation, and we can easily tell because this is the real coin right here. Now the thing about the real coin is it does not move. The earliest it could have been released was on screen right now in the middle of October. So I'm really interested if they are picking these up in hopes that maybe someone else is going to manipulate it, or if they got a good deal on the way down, or what happened. Overall, I just thought this was really interesting, something I picked up on, and something I figured you might be interested in because I thought it was pretty interesting as well. And always, I'll link this down in the description because you can go ahead and track their inventory and try to cash in for next time. But that's pretty much all I got for today. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day.